Yeah, and a good Saturday morning to you. Welcome to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, brought to you by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. Racing Radio here on Outlaw Country AM 1400. I'm your host, Mike Stanhope, and thank you so much for joining us today as we look ahead to a return to action tonight. Round number 4 of the 2013 Cocopah Speedway Racing Series Fan Appreciation Night, featuring some special activities along with all 5 divisions in the 2013 Cocopah Speedway Racing Series. And set to join us here in just a couple of minutes as part of today's preview, Yuma's Ty Rogers, driver of the number 8T IMCA Northern Sport Mod. Again, he'll be with us in just a few minutes, but first we set the stage for action tonight with a quick recap of the 2013 season to date. And, well, of course, tonight, Fan Appreciation Night, a big opportunity to say thank you in person, even though we're already just a couple of months into the season. Today marks only the 4th time all year that all 5 local divisions have been on track together in pursuit of the various Cocopah Speedway track championships. So prior to action tonight, all of the cars in competition will be rolled out onto the front straightaway at Cocopah Speedway, and then we'll swing open the gate down to the track for a meet and greet and a thank you session with all of the drivers. And was stated just the other day in the Yuma Sun, you might want to bring your mud shoes as you'll be right down on the clay track surface for a look around on the racing side of the wall. Great opportunity to say hi, perhaps get an autograph or two, or just to see the cars up close. And the drivers will be passing out checkered flags, compliments of Yuma signs and flags, etc., 500 of them to all the children present and to any fans wanting a token of Fan Appreciation Night. Well, setting the stage for tonight's race action, getting up to speed here on current point standings and who's sitting where. And first of all, in the Napa Auto Parts factory stocks, it is Miles Morris from right here in Yuma, your leader in the factory stocks at 119 points on the year, 4 points back of him. Yuma's Rick Hibbard with Alpine California's Wayne Rebello sitting in the number 3 spot. Jason Bashir sitting in the number 4 position, just 16 points back of Morris. And rounding out your top 5, Yuma's Justin Jones, 19 points back of the leader. As we move on to the Fisher Automotive Street Stocks, the points stack up as follows. Stephen Daffern out of Brawley, your points leader at 116 points on the season. Alpine California's Mike Harlan just 4 points back of Daffern at 112. Yuma's Dave Amos in the number 3 position at 111 points. It is Yuma's Adolfo Noriega, the defending street stock champion, now up to 4th in his number 35 machine. And again, rounding out your top 5 in the street stocks, Chula Vista, California's Manny Boliviez, 11 points back of the street stock point leader. Looking at the IMCA Northern Sport Mod, your points entering competition tonight set up as follows, and as already noted, it is Yuma's Ty Rogers, your points leader in the IMCA Northern Sport Mods at 111 points for the track championship. Brawley's Cody Daffern, 8 points back in the number 2 spot, with Yuma's James Dupre sitting 3rd, 13 points back of the leader. Oscar Duarte and Brian Kerwin in a 2-way tie for the number 5 spot, both sitting at 98 points. So to check on that, that is Duarte sitting with a tie with Dupre. Brian Kerwin holding that number 5 spot by himself, again at 96 points. Pro Stocks will also be in action tonight. A big duel last time out on February 23rd tightened up the standings there, and coming into competition tonight, Brett Samala in the number 1 Pro Stock. He is your points leader at 117 points. Hot on his heels and just 6 points back, Joe Haynes from here in Yuma. Haynes taking the February 23rd victory, his first victory to move up into that number 2 position. He sits in a 2-way tie for that 2nd spot on the season point standings with Lakeside's Mike Lurwell, who also sits at 111. Your 4 spot, Roy Daffern from out of Brawley at 110, and David White from right here in Yuma, rounding out your top 5 in the Pro Stocks as he is 18 points back of the leader. And finally, we take a look at the full-blown IMCA Modified, standing shaken out this way. Jason Breeze from out of Cleghorn, Iowa, the leader in the IMCA Modifieds at 116 points. Brawley's Russell Allen not too far back in the number 2 position at 105 points. Imperial's Lance Maury in the number 3 position with Imperial's Steve McCullough sitting 4th, and Yuma's Keith Tabor rounding out the top 5 in the IMCA Modifieds as we enter competition tonight. Would take note that Breeze has since returned home to Iowa, so we'll be looking at potentially some very big changes in the standings in the IMCA Modifieds over the next few weeks, and we've said it before and we'll say it again, extremely close competition between the Yuma and Imperial-based drivers who call Cocopah Speedway home. Car counts continue to climb, all 5 divisions featuring a number of cars and drivers capable of the win on any given night. You know what that adds up to? Action. Lots of it. At the Diamond in the Desert, Cocopah Speedway. And one of the hottest drivers coming into competition tonight, red hot, Ty Rogers and his number 18 Northern Sport Mod, and he is set to join us next. Racing Radio here on Outlaw Country AM 1400. It's Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning.
I know Toyota's number 1 for everyone sales event has a ton of great offers, but I think I found the greatest one. Tundra Crew Max. Now that's a truck.
What about Tacoma? That's a nice compact pickup.
What about Tundra Double Cab with dual zone climate control? It has a nice ring to it.
What about Tacoma Double Cab with front bucket seats and a sweet center console? I like the sound of that.
Oh, so do I.
Did I just sell you?
I don't know. Tundra with cruise control sounds pretty nice, don't you think?
I like what I said better.
Well then, I'm sold.
Toyota's number 1 for everyone sales event is on now. Hurry into your Toyota dealer for great deals on a wide selection of tough Toyota trucks, like $3,000 cash back on a new 2013 Tundra Crew Max. Toyota, let's go places.
Cashback savings from TMS does not include college grad or military rebate. Does not include dealer fees. Offers may vary by region. See participating dealer for details. Offers end 4/1/13.
Visit Alexander Toyota in Yuma, or for more information, please log on to Toyota.com. Toyota.
Cocopah Speedway. Fast, fun, local stars racing under Arizona skies. See your favorite drivers this Saturday night. Fast cars, fresh air, food, fun for the whole family. Tickets on sale now at the Cocopah Casino gift shop and local area Napa stores. Gates open at 5 p.m. Cocopah Speedway, the fastest way to family fun. US 95 and County 15 and at CocopahSpeedway.com.
Can you tell if the leftovers from this dinner party are beginning to grow bacteria that could lead to severe diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach cramps? Listen. You can't see it either. Get leftovers into the refrigerator as soon as possible. Spoiled leftovers can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Racing Radio. It's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating here on Outlaw Country, AM 1400. Once again, I'm your host, Mike Stanhope, looking ahead on this edition of Laptime Live to tonight's Fan Appreciation Night out at Cocopah Speedway, round number 4 of the 2013 Cocopah Speedway Racing Series. And joining us now, today's special race day guest, Ty Rogers, driver of the number 8T IMCA Northern Sport Mod. And as we've noted, Rogers has been on fire in 2013, picking off all 3 wins this season in the Cocopah Speedway Racing Series, along with a 2 out of 3 during the Winter Nationals earlier this year. And Ty, welcome to the studio this morning.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Hey, thank you so much for taking time out of a busy race morning to come in and visit with us. You've been around racing your entire life. If I have it correct, you saw your first dirt track action in your mid-teens. Can you kind of take us through your entry into racing and how you got to the point at which you're standing today?
I started racing, actually, when I was about 14. First dirt track was probably when I was about 2 months old. My grandfather started racing in the 60s, and my uncle Dwayne Rogers, he's been racing before I was born, and he got me a race car when I was 14, and it's been blowing money ever since then. So that's the way it goes, just up and down, and just burning holes in my pocket, but it's fun. So.
Well, kind of nice to get the kickstart, so to speak, like that. But not just modifieds for you, both pure stocks and street stocks in your background as well. A little.
Yeah, I started out factory stocks, ran pure stocks, ran a pro stock a couple times, and jumped into IMCA modifieds. Then I got smart and realized that wasn't the class for me. I went down. I wouldn't really call it going down because it just didn't fit the pocketbook. So I transferred down to the IMCA Sport Mod. And that's where I fit comfortably now. And especially racing in the Midwest the last 5 years, it's kind of been we run 3 to 4 nights a week back there, and it really takes a toll on you. So.
You kind of cut your racing teeth a little bit over at Imperial Valley Speedway initially. Any sort of an influence on your driving style from there, or more influence from your time in Nebraska? And we'll touch more on that as we go here this morning.
Well, of course, where you start out matters most. I mean, I learned a lot in Imperial Valley. I love that track. I wish it was still running. It'd be nice if we could run there maybe Friday and run here on a Saturday night. But first track you run, and that's just a hammer down go track. But of course, going to the Midwest, running, I think last year we ran close to 12 different tracks. So with experience is seat time, and that's all you could really do is seat time. And if you could put 100 shows compared to the guy that put 10 shows in the year before, you got 90 times more experience. So it really matters there.
That common denominator for everybody. Everybody talks about that seat time, and there's no getting around it. If you don't have it, you're at a competitive disadvantage.
Exactly.
You mentioned Nebraska. Now, that was a job-related move and took you away from this area for, 4 or 5 year period?
Yeah, I've been in Nebraska since 2008, moved back there and got on the railroad and started a career back there and got enough money and got me a modified and started racing a little bit. In the wintertime, I'd come back here and run. When Cocopah first started back up, I ran out here a couple times and did pretty well. I think almost won it one night. It was the second race of the new season, and we ended up finishing second, so that was a pretty good deal. And then after that, we went back to the Midwest again and ran a little bit, and I think that was 2 years ago. We had horrible luck, so that was about the time I transitioned into Northern Sport Mod. Just got tired of blowing up engines.
Well, insofar as your experience in the Northern Sport Mods, as we've noted, you're sitting on top in the points. So in terms of a start to 2013 and noting the 3 out of 3 on feature wins, you got to be happy with the start to the year.
Oh, no, it's nice. It's kind of a shock. I mean, I've had more bad luck than good luck, and this year it's seemed to turn around and have a lot more good luck than bad luck. So it's pretty nice. That doesn't come without a lot of help. We've had a lot of help this year getting to where we're at. So with the continued support, and the support keeps coming with more people helping me out and stuff. Hopefully we could take it a little further too.
In terms of competition out at Cocopah Speedway, and again, kind of drawing on the experience a little bit of racing in Nebraska, where obviously you got to see a lot of top drivers. How does that help you in terms of how that translates to the track experience here?
Right now we're the ones kind of setting the bar, but like you saw a couple weeks ago, Jesse Saubing come down and just whoop all the IMCA field. Well, I'd run against him usually every Sunday, and, well, he put the whipping on us every day. It seemed every Sunday we were out there chasing him, and there's a lot of top guys back there that we were trying to chase, and they were setting the bar, and we were just trying to chase them. And when you're chasing someone, you just want to keep getting better and better, and, you just put more time, and, you change your setup, and you do anything you can to try to, win a race. That's what you're here to do. You're here to win. You're not here to finish second. And that's what it felt like back there. We were trying to do. We didn't want to settle for second. We wanted to win every night we went out there. And luckily we're doing what we wanted to do the last couple of years this year. So
You mentioned that the IMCA Northern Sport Mods are a little bit easier on the pocketbook, and in so noting, the car is somewhat less expensive to run than a full-blown IMCA modified, but if you follow along closely with lap times out at Cocopah Speedway, no lack of action and no lack of speed.
No, actually last race, I guess I was, with my lap times, I was the fastest car on the track after Lance Mari. He ended up breaking, but any other IMCA modified that finished that night, even the guy who won that 3X, my lap times are faster than his. Given we have a little faster track, they run 2 more classes, and when they go out there, their track slows down a little, but it's kind of those guys, they're running anywhere from 600 to 650 horsepower. My little, crate motor, it's 350 horsepower on, and that's all it's got. But that right there shows you the fact that IMCA, the tires they give us, they're not matched to handle much more. I mean, you could give them more, but it's more of a throttle control deal, you'd say. I mean, when I was running IMCA modifieds, it was, a lot of throttle control with these. It's hammered down, and you just got to keep your momentum going to keep the car, going, and it works out. And then the fact that, you're spending less with the IMCA Northern Sport Mods, you're spending less on tires because you're not burning them up with the high horsepower, and of course we have quite a few less bars, so it's a lot less maintenance and stuff like that.
We're hearing of several other cars under construction here in the Yuma area, and hopefully some more from out of the Imperial area too. But for somebody who might be listening to us and is wanting to go racing, what would be your number one thing to tell them in terms of, hey, the Northern Sport Mod is the way to go?
Probably go out there and get a crate motor. I mean, these clay motors, I started out in the Northern Sport Mods with the clay motor, but it was night and day difference when I went to the crate. I mean, you could throw a lot of money in a clay motor and it still won't compare to the crate, I think, for the price that they're giving them to you for, and, strap a 4-barrel on it, and that really helps, especially with the, I call Cocopah kind of a paper clip. It's like delivering the mail. You go hammer down to one corner and tap the brake and deliver the mail and go down to the other corner and come back. And with the longer straightaways, I think the 4-barrel does help. So
we're talking with Ty Rogers on this special race day edition of Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And we'll be back with more in just a moment here on Outlaw Country AM 1400.
You know how to talk to your dog.
Here's Spike.
You know how to talk to your kids.
Susie.
But do you know how to talk to your lawyer? You can find out at azbar.org. The State Bar of Arizona's website has great consumer information that will explain your rights as a client and your responsibilities. You can also search for attorneys and learn more about their background. It's all online at azbar.org. The State Bar of Arizona, serving the public, enhancing the legal profession.
Sponsored by the State Bar of Arizona, aired in cooperation with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and the station.
No matter what type of air conditioning or heating help you need, schedule some help from 1 Hour Air Conditioning. Ready for the season? 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating can help. No AC at all? 1 Hour can help. Need help upgrading your old inefficient system? 1 Hour can help. Now's the time to schedule your annual air conditioning safety inspection for just $59. Call 1 Hour today at 783-4242. Some limitations and exclusions apply.
We're always on time, but you don't pay your time. Stanhope, perfect to the letter. You just can't do better.
Thank you, Yuma, for voting Sign Pro Yuma's best sign and banner shop for 2012. Remember Sign Pro for all your sign needs, like vehicle graphics, magnetics, and custom stickers, and more. Call 783-7776 or stop by Sign Pro today. And thanks again for voting us Yuma's best sign and banner shop.
Whether I'm training for a marathon, kickboxing, or lifting, I train to add muscle and build my inner strength. I am proud that I was born this way, driven. That's why I serve in the United States Coast Guard. You can find me on a Coast Guard cutter, along with my shipmates, who are a lot like me, driven and committed to our country and the safety of our citizens. We were born for the Coast Guard.
If you were born ready, learn more at GoCoastGuard.com.
Sponsored by the United States Coast Guard in cooperation with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
And welcome back to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, racing radio here on Outlaw Country AM 1400, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And again, joining us in studio today for this special race day edition of Laptime Live, it's Ty Rogers, driver of the Yuma-based 18 Northern Sport Modified, set for action tonight as part of Fan Appreciation Night at Cocopah Speedway. And talking about Fan Appreciation Night tonight, you'll get to meet personally with many of the fans as we kick off the program later this evening. But any words you might like to offer up right now to those who come on out and cheer you on?
Yeah, come out and come down to our car. We'll have a big bowl of candy for all the kids, and even if the adults have a sweet tooth, come on by, say hi. I'll sign an autograph and whatnot. Talk a little bit about racing, and
always glad to sign an autograph, aren't you?
Yeah. But yeah, I love when kids come up and ask for autographs. I used to do that when I was a kid down here. I remember having a white T-shirt or whatever, and go up to every driver and bug everybody. And I don't know if they liked it back then, but we all liked it.
Hey, I've got one of those in my closet as well, so I can totally relate with you on that. In terms of a day like today, or for that matter, we could talk about a whole race week. Big time commitment to it, obviously. And can you kind of step us through a little bit the prep part of it, both mechanically but also mentally?
Yeah. Well, for one thing, winning doesn't happen, at the track. It happens in the garage. You go out there, and first thing we do, we shake down the car, and after a race, we, wash it and get all the dirt off of it and, put it up on jack stands and just go through everything, go through all your fluids. Usually we're pretty good on fluid maintenance, and we usually swap out brake pads quite a bit. Brakes are pretty, even in the modifieds, brakes, they're pretty vital in the sport mods. And it's definitely not as bad as modifieds, being that there's not as much suspension, but it's still pretty, important to go through the car. And, with the way it's been right now, I haven't really done much changes. A lot of guys, it seems like they're changing every time they go out on the track. I try to keep my changes, to a minimum, and if anything, change my driving style. That seems to help out a lot, because usually you're your own worst enemy. But other than that, it's just going out there and getting the car ready before you go to the track. The worst thing I see drivers do is show up to the track and their engine's missing, or they got a leak. They just it's something or the other. They don't realize how important it is to have that car ready before you leave the garage, instead of spending your week. And some guys can't do it. I know, job and family, it's hard, but it's better to, if you could get the car ready before you go out on the track. And, it's a lot less headache. And believe me, I've been in their shoes. I've been one of them guys where it's like, we got to do this, we got to do that. So that's the biggest thing.
Surely makes a big difference in terms of, quote, getting game face on.
Exactly.
You talked about the points a little bit, and in addition to being on top of the points here for the track championship at Cocopah Speedway, you're also currently sitting on top in the IMCA Northern Sport Mod national standings, as well as in the state points. Is that something that you're going to try and stay with a little bit, bearing in mind that back out in the Midwest, among other places, things are really starting to crank up?
State points, I'm going for Arizona state points. That's a fact. That's not going to be too hard to keep up with, being that we're the only track in Arizona that's running IMCA Northern Sport Mod. So whoever comes September, who's ever on top, wins the track and the state points. So that'll be a good one to go for. As far as national championship, I'd love to. We're gonna try. We're gonna go to Nebraska, and probably gonna go back there around June and July, maybe August, for a couple weeks, and try to hit about a dozen shows. Fingers crossed, I hope it works out, but it's I don't think 12 shows is going to do it. Those guys, they'll run 60 shows, and I think we got about 10 to 12 shows around here before the end of summer, And then if we go back there, we might get 24, 25 shows together before the end of September, which would be good. But I don't think it'll compare to guys that are going to run 60 shows this year. So
a big difference when you're at a place where you could be literally running 4 to 5 nights a week, to be sure.
Yeah, I was listening to Tyler Fry. He's a competitor back in Kansas that I ran against quite a bit. He's gonna run 4 solid nights a week for the national championship. So, and that's all starting in May all the way to September. So you got 4 months of 4 nights a week. It's just unreal how many nights they actually run. It's kind of nice being from around here because we run almost year round. Well, let's say we run 9 to 10 months out of the year, but it's every 2 weeks. So you got a life besides racing. Those guys, they run back there 4 nights a week, and they don't take a break. I mean, it's every weekend. They don't go to the river. They don't go to the desert. They just purely race, and it'll burn you out. I mean, it will. That's why a lot of those guys back there, they'll run for solid for 5 or 6 years, and then you won't hear from them. They'll just quit racing, and you see them at a race, watching, and what happened? I just got burnt out, I'm done. And I mean, it just burnt me out. And I never want to be that way. I got other things. I wouldn't mind, going to the river, once or twice this summer and doing other stuff besides racing 4 nights a week every night. So
we understand that you're going to be getting married in the not too distant future.
One of these days.
We understand she's a big supporter of your endeavors also, right down to, in fact, making a trip to get a part and painting it up for you the other day.
Yeah, she's my crew chief. She does, she actually preps the car. I was gone all week this week for work, so she was out there in the garage prepping the car and stuff, getting it ready for me while I was at work. She's also into the wrap business. She, as in graphics for the cars. She's got about 4 or 5 cars out there getting wrapped right now at Cocopah. So yeah, she's pretty busy with that, and then working on the car and everything.
Well, our congratulations to the both of you on that impending happy day whenever it does happen.
Thank you.
Talking about loved ones in racing, and you mentioned both your grandfather and Dwayne, who both kind of gave you an assist up, but there's a lot of other supporters who helped make it possible for you to be out on track.
Absolutely. Besides my family, they're of course they're number one. They're the ones who got me in this sport. But I got MRT race cars, and that's a big family support, friends and family. I don't think we have time to thank all of them, but say MRT racing team, and then we got JD Peterson Construction, and they're actually a Nebraska sponsor, and since I moved back here, they stuck with me, and they're still helping me out. And then we got a couple other sponsors. We got Wells Designs. They do the wrap and everything, and we got AmeriFirst Financial with Katie Paulson. She does the home loans and stuff. She's helping me out. And we actually picked up a couple factory, I don't know if you call them factory sponsors, but we got Circle Racing Wheels, and then we got Bell Helmets. They're helping us out this year, so it's going pretty good.
Well, Ty, we are glad to hear that, and pleased to offer the chance to pass along a personalized thank you to all who helped to make racing possible here in the Yuma area, and we want to particularly thank you this morning for stopping in to visit with us.
Yeah, thanks.
Ty Rogers, your points leader in the IMCA Northern Sport Mods, our special guest this morning here on this race day edition of Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating and by Cocopah Casino. And again, fan appreciation tonight at the Diamond in the Desert. Gates always open at 5 with special fan appreciation ceremonies and racing beginning at 7 p.m. And again, you'll actually get to step out onto the racing surface at Cocopah Speedway tonight, right down out onto the oval in the front chute for a meet and greet with all the cars and drivers who want to say thank you to you fans for making 2013 the year it's been so far. You can find lots of other specialized content and information surrounding Cocopah Speedway, Cocopah Casino, and, of course, the 2013 race season and more. It's all available on the World Wide Web. Just visit us at www.cocopahspeedway.com and be sure to like us on Facebook. And while you're out at the racetrack, make sure you bring the action even closer via your smartphone or tablet with live lineup, scoring, and results. The hookup is through CocopahLive.com and at MyLaps.com, or you can access both applications through CocopahSpeedway.com. Our thanks once again to Ty Rogers for joining us in studio today. Promises to be a great night tonight at the Diamond in the Desert, Cocopah Speedway, and we again wish you the best of luck tonight. Ty, you've been listening to Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. Back with more next Saturday morning, 11 a.m., here on Outlaw Country AM 1400.